As I've said before on my first episode, so now I say again, chess is a game, folks. Yet chess is not only a game. Figurines on a chessboard, they have their place and their function. People in real life, we have our place, we have our function. People engage in wisdom. They use strategy, and they might succeed, but it's not guaranteed. Other people choose to engage in foolishness and silly mindedness, and they fail. You see, strategy often leads to success, while impatience often leads to failure, which is why the right move can only be done once, one step at a time. But the wrong move can be made and executed many different times. Strategy is something that many people use today, to varying degrees, that is. Most of mankind lacks both strategy and execution, which is why they often fail. Not to mention, many of mankind lack the fruit of patience. As we know, patience is a valuable trait most of humanity doesn't possess. When I take a look at the world, I see that the variations of outcomes are slim. You never really know what is to happen at the end of a situation until you get near the end or the situation has already ended. Most of mankind is caught up in a false world of pride and arrogance. They feel as though that they cannot be told anything. As the wise saying goes, as it is also said in a word, quote, pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. Only the arrogant-minded individual would hear that and shake their head in disagreement or turn their nose up in a fit of anger. If it isn't that, then the wisdom they've received is usually cast down to the ground due to their dismissive attitude. This is how Satan is viewed in the eyes of God. He is viewed as a created being who has passed the line of insubordination and has become one who is in complete and total direct conflict with all that is holy, pure, good, and righteous. Not just himself, but his servants as well. Today, I will be talking to you all about the story of the man you see in the painting and how there is a spiritual lesson behind it. If you are not interested in learning what this lesson is, then feel free to click off this video. The lesson isn't for you. But if you are interested, then pay attention. I've been playing the game of chess since 2012. I have never officially participated in any tournament, but I have won many games and have had many stalemates. I've only ever played against a computer and amateurs though, so I am far from being a master of the game. For those who are familiar with the game of chess, you all know that it doesn't matter how fancy other pieces on the board may be able to move and what their rank may be. You know that the most important piece on the chessboard is the king. The king being the most important piece on the board is symbolic in itself. All those other pieces on the board have very important roles on the board, and those specific pieces on the board have important titles as well. As I said earlier, everyone has their place and their function. Me being a very shrewd man myself, I often wonder why there are those of mankind in my country and others that crave anarchy and disorder. How could one ever deny the stability and structure of bureaucracy and hierarchy in exchange for chaos and confusion? That's purebred foolishness. When a king on the chessboard is under attack by any other piece in the game, this is called a check. When the king is under attack by one or multiple pieces in the game, and the king is unable to move away from danger to avoid the penalty, this is called checkmate. Satan, who is a demon himself, has checkmated many of mankind. The denial of his existence that many of mankind have in their minds isn't of importance to him. That kind of mindset simply plays into his hand. He has caused many in this peace-forsaken world to become checkmated by his power and through his network of demonic spirits. However, there is another who has also checkmated many of mankind and also demons who war against him. It is the very being whom you all hate so much that when you hear his name, you instantly feel a rush of anger and boiling rage that is eager to lash out. His name is the Son of Man, Jesus Christ. Oh, I know, You're going to tell me, Alex, you're coming from a Christian perspective. Yes, look at you, so smart and intelligent that you've uncovered what is obvious to see and understand. Don't be fooled. You all know what I preach on this channel the most, but balance is important. So Satan is sitting across from a man at a table who is Satan's opponent in the game. They're playing the game of chess and they're playing for the man's soul, or at least that is what is widely assumed. On the left, Satan is in human form and he looks arrogant, confident, and devious. He isn't looking down at the chessboard but staring directly at the man's face. The man can be seen as looking downward towards the chessboard, stressed out and worried. He has his right hand on his forehead while his left hand is on the table. Standing to the man's right and Satan's left at the table is an angel. The angel is peacefully looking at the game, more so looking towards the man's direction, but the angel is unbothered by Satan's presence. As you continue to carefully analyze the painting, you will notice that there is demonic imagery in the painting as well. There will be differing interpretations as to why those are present, but I believe it is a representation that Satan is showing the man that he is in control. He has already lost, and his power and presence are far greater than the mere human man. For many centuries, people have observed this painting closely and have agreed with Satan both knowingly and unknowingly that the man has lost. That is, until one man, a chess grandmaster, came across this painting. I will now read you all a testament of what occurred. Quote, a chess grandmaster came upon this intriguing painting in the Louvre Museum alongside other famous art such as the Mona Lisa. The grandmaster stared a long time at the chessboard in the painting and finally noticed something surprising. The typical interpretation of the painting was incorrect. Though the devil seemed to be the obvious victor, he was in fact not winning. The man who thought he was losing was actually winning. According to the arrangement of the pieces left on the chessboard, his king had one more move. This fateful move would make him the winner of the game. The grandmaster called the curator and determined that the title checkmate did not fit the scene because the forlorn-looking player actually had the ability to defeat his opponent. Though he didn't realize it yet, his king had one more move. Now, isn't that powerful? For those of you who have a clear understanding of spiritual warfare, I bet it makes you wonder why Satan would even put up a fight against the ruler of heaven. But if you know that, then you also know that, like I said in one of my past videos, each kingdom of both rulers is built and based upon its own concepts, its own absolutes, and its own certainty. Not mirroring each other or borrowing ideas from each other, that is how mankind acts. That is not how the supernatural act. A realm to implode if a realm had more than one ruler, a truth spoken for each realm. Mankind is at sea level, able to ascend, able to reach the top of the hierarchy, able to descend and become demoted. Mankind is a collective, unable to rise. Mankind is divided and always will be, but while they choose to continuously indulge and engage in meaningless strife, contentions, while some choose to sow dissensions, there's a battle going on right now for your soul. But I know, you don't believe it to be true, and it's all man-made, it's all made up. Mankind wrote those religious books, mankind created this, mankind created that. Well, if humanity truly created everything and knows everything, then why aren't we all on one accord? That same point used in spiritual religious debates is about as old as the earth itself. Of course, mankind is the author of many writings. But where did the inspiration come from? You see, when the grandmaster took a closer eye-piercing look at the painting, he saw that the king on the man's side had another move. The smartest of mankind could not be compared to any being I've preached and taught about on this channel. Not God, not Satan, not any demon, not any of them. This question isn't for the heathen, although even some of them may respond. But for those of you who do believe in both God and Satan, for those of you who serve either one of these spirits, are you certain that this painting is just a mere depiction of how God will defeat Satan and the kingdom of darkness in the end? Or do you view this painting as just a man-made mistake and are certain Satan will be the one to be victorious, as he would never make such an obvious mistake? Leave your comments down below. Until next time.